The truth is, we often speak about the men who truly run this world behind the scenes, those who shaped this world and made it what it is today. Some of the most powerful men in our history have been open Freemasons, so imagine how many powerful people keep their membership hidden. In this episode of The Truth Is, I have information that is truly valuable to understanding what truly goes on in our world. A Freemason has agreed to be interviewed, and he promises to answer all my questions honestly, as long as he is able without bringing himself any harm. I have agreed to keep his name, voice, and face hidden for his safety and protection. We agreed to do it through video call, and I have 100% confirmed that this man is not lying, and he is truly a Freemason. I would like if we can all pray for the safety of this man, for his bravery, who has taken a big risk to stand for the truth. I just want to say thank you all for watching, and let's get right into it. Hey Jason, I hope all is well. How you doing today?
Hey Truth, how you doing? Everything's good. I hope all is well with you too, man.
I'm pretty good. I just wanted to thank you again for agreeing to do this interview. I understand what doing this interview could cost you, so I'll do my best to protect your identity, all right?
All right.
If at any time I ask you anything you don't feel like answering, you don't have to answer.
Okay, understood.
The first question I'd like to ask you is, how did you become aware of the Freemasons?
Started back in 2007, where I was doing some research and seen that the fraternal order did a lot of good for the community.
Okay. By good for the community, can you elaborate on that?
Food drives, cancer walks, AIDS walks, giveaways to the children for school. Just a lot. I wanted to be a part of that.
Now, many people have different reasons on why they wanted to become a Mason. What was your reason for becoming a Mason?
Well, to be honest, I wanted to know what it really was to be a Mason. I wanted to know the truth, the secrets. I wanted to see what it really was. What was such a big secret about? What the community work was about. So I decided to keep doing my research and further my knowledge, and eventually I joined up.
Okay. Can you explain the process of you joining? What did you have to do to join, and who can join the Freemasons?
Well, I won't go too much into detail on that, but what I would say is you have to be sponsored by a Master Mason in order to join the lodge. And as far as the process, I can't go too much into detail on that, but I would say that you don't see what's going on.
By process, I mean, if a person wants to become a Mason, what process would they have to take to become a Freemason?
You would have to be sponsored by a master of the lodge, a Master Mason. You go through a series of background checks, home visits, and if they feel that you're a right candidate, you'll be accepted into the lodge.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
When you were accepted, how were you initiated? And if you can and feel safe, please go into details on how the initiation went.
I don't feel comfortable answering that question.
All right. No worries. Can I ask you how you felt while you were being initiated, if you feel comfortable answering that?
Sure. Felt a little excited. I would say lost. But overall, I was good. It wasn't anything that some people would think it would turn out to be, but it was a good thing. It wasn't bad at all.
Can you please explain the ranking system? How does a Mason go up in degree?
Well, you have to go through your rituals, your degrees. As first, you will start off as an apprentice. Then you'll go to the second degree, which would be a fellow craft, and then the third degree, which is master. From then on, you will move up.
And what degree Mason are you? And how long did it take you to get there?
I'm a master, and it took me about a year.
What have you have learned since being a Mason? And in your opinion, is it truly worth being a Mason?
Well, I learned a lot. There's a lot that I haven't learned because there's a lot of stuff that me as a Master Mason wouldn't know that the Knights Templars know, or the Shriners, or, as you go up, you learn more. And even those guys still don't know. You learn something new every single day of being a Freemason.
All right, very interesting. Many presidents and big politicians, even rappers, have been Masons. Many people believe that by joining the Masons, they get special privileges. Do you feel like you get any special privileges from being a Mason?
Oh, yeah, definitely, especially if it's among other brothers.
Can you explain what you mean by that? Explain one of those privileges?
Okay. Sure. Let me go. Let's say you have a profession.
Yes.
And it's the profession you want is, let's say you're a carpenter. All right, let's just give an example. police officer, whatever. We have lodges that are based on that profession. You can go to a lodge full of contractors. You can go to a lodge full of police officers. And from then on, you will meet these people who will help you further.
So basically, you're saying that once you become a Mason, the other Masons that are in the fraternity basically propel you to a higher position in that company because of your membership.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you believe that the Masons shaped the United States? How much power would you say the Freemasons have?
We have it's a lot of power in the Freemasons, and I would say we did shape the world. In my personal opinion, yes.
By the world, like their power expands further than just England and America?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's very interesting. If you've seen my channel, then you already know that I pointed out that the Masons appear to worship the devil. Would you say that the Masons worship the devil, or there is Masons that worship the devil?
I would say that there's Masons that worship the devil, but I wouldn't say that we worship the devil as a fraternity, no.
Can you expand on that? A lot of the symbolism and the artifacts that the Masons use have been linked to paganism and Satanism.
Well, when you join up, you have to believe in a God, okay? Now, what God you choose to worship, we have no control over that, you understand?
Yeah.
If you're a Satanist or you're a Catholic, Christian, as long as you believe in a God, you can join the lodge.
What would you say is the purpose of Freemasonry?
To make good men into better men.
Can you expand on that? Because that's kind of like the go-to answer that most Masons will give. And what way do you feel that they make you a better man? What do they give you? What opportunity or what knowledge that they provide you? You don't have to go into detail on the knowledge.
Well, I would say this. Listen, knowledge is key, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now, someone with knowledge and a strong fraternal organization at the Freemasons behind him, you have no choice but to become a better man, you understand me? You're surrounded by good men who are doing things and putting you into these things as far as food drives, helping out the homeless, helping out the children, helping out your community. And that's what I've learned as far as being a Mason, you know?
Okay. Many people believe that the Masons have a secret goal of a New World Order. Would you say the Masons are behind the New World Order?
I'm going to be able to answer that question for you.
All right. In my research over the years, I have seen a strong connection between the Masons and the Illuminati. Are the Freemasons in any way associated with the Illuminati?
To my knowledge, no.
All right. What I've also learned during my research on Freemasonry was that the Freemasons participated in rituals. Have you ever participated in any rituals?
Yes.
Why do you think the Masons participate in these rituals?
Well, when you say rituals, you're probably thinking something, evil or something. Like there's some lodges where they fake lodges, we call them clandestine, where they would have smoke and people wearing black robes and, but it's not really like that. You understand? Rituals are something we do to move up.
Okay. And can you explain the experience of when you're doing these rituals? How do you feel? What feeling do you get while you're performing these rituals?
It can be a little confusing sometimes. I would say that you have to pay very close attention and listen very well. Let's just say that.
Hip-hop culture seems to embrace Freemasonry. Would you say rappers like Jay-Z and Kanye West are Freemason? And if so, which rappers do you think are Freemasons?
I know Rick Ross is a Mason. There's a bunch of rappers who are Masons, to be honest. Like Ashton Kutcher's a Mason. He's an actor. You have the guy from American Idol, the rude guy, Simon. He's a Freemason. There's a bunch of people in the industry of music, acting in Hollywood, who are Freemasons.
So you can say that the Freemasons have a strong presence in the music industry, correct?
We have a presence there. Yes, we do. I'm not going to say strong, but we definitely have a presence.
During Freemasons' secret meetings, what actually goes on?
I'm not going to answer that question.
No worries. Is there any secret hand signs that you guys have to let other Masons know that you guys are Masons?
Of course.
And that's how you guys communicate within each other? Do you use hand signs for other people to identify between each other?
Yeah, yes. We have a bunch of ways. We have many different ways of recognizing each other where someone with a naked eye wouldn't even notice.
As a Freemason now, do you feel like you've gained a lot from being a Freemason?
No, the only thing I really gained, I would say, is knowledge. That's about it.
During my research of Freemasonry, I've read that Masons have to make like a payment to be a Mason. Can you explain that? Is there any truth to that?
Oh yeah, there's nothing free about Freemasons. It's a very expensive fraternity to be a part of. The higher you go, the more you pay.
The higher the Masons are, right? When a Mason is at a 33rd degree or a higher degree, are you accessible to their knowledge as well? Or do you not know what happens in those higher rankings?
I don't know what happens in those high rankings.
So how would you be able to tell that at a degree that you're on, it's all being told to you correctly? Like, is there any transparency when you join? Do they explain to you what's going on?
Honestly, you don't know what's going on in the higher ups, and no matter what they tell you, you take it with a grain of salt because you know it's not the truth. There's things that I've been told, and like when I first joined, I knew I was being lied to about other things. But as I went higher, I realized, okay, now I know that what they told me was false. This was false, but I know it now. You understand me?
Yes.
As we move up, you get more knowledge and you learn more.
Very interesting. Is there anything that you would want to say about the Masons? If you would want to recruit a person, what would you say about the Masons to make them want to join?
I wouldn't go to anybody to recruit them. We tend to let people come to us.
Okay. So if a random person decides he wants to be a Mason, he approaches you guys will give him an opportunity?
When you say opportunity, what do you mean by that?
Like you guys would try him out or see if he's able to become a Mason?
Depending on what type of person he is. And like I said earlier, you would have to go through background checks. He will come do a home visit. We'll meet his family if he's married. We're going to meet his wife. Because remember, when you're joining the Masons, you're joining a family. And your family that you have at home becomes our family as well.
What would you say would be the main goal of all the secrecy in Freemasonry? Why would you say that there's so much secrets? Like, why would it be that if you enter the fraternity, the brotherhood, you're treated as an outsider, even though you're already part of the brotherhood?
That's a good question. Very good question. I wouldn't be able to tell you that.
As you said, nothing in the Freemasonry is free, right?
Definitely not.
So
Yep.
Would you say it's almost like a business structure that they have set up so that the higher ups can profit off of new members? And maybe if they find a member that's, qualified for what they want, they can propel them to a higher degree when they really learn the valuable secrets that they actually...
From what I know, no one would go up just based off of what they have to offer. You understand? I know people that are very wealthy.
I'm not meaning by wealth and money. I mean like a certain person is able to understand the teachings faster than others. So they'll probably show priority to this member and they'll probably make them a Grand Master or a Master Mason or whatever,
No, they would have to go through the same steps that we all went through.
Okay, so you're saying that it's regardlessly, even if you join from the bottom, you can eventually make it to the top, no matter what.
Yes, no matter what.
That's interesting. But still, would you say that the higher up Masons will profit off of the smaller Masons for at least the beginning process?
I mean, I don't know where all the money goes, but like I said, there's nothing free about Freemasons. It is very expensive. We pay dues, and there's nothing free about it. So we don't know where the money goes as far as the higher ups.
Okay. Before you joined the Masons, what were you doing in your life that made you feel that the Masons would be the correct path for you?
Well, I started watching videos on them when I was young, and I just felt that it was a really secretive organization, and I wanted to know, why was this particular fraternity so secretive, but yet do so much for their community? You understand? I'm one of those people that like to do for the community, so I decided to join. I wasn't really doing anything because I was young. Then I had a little job. I wasn't doing anything special. And still to this day, I'm not doing anything special, I have a great job. That's just about it.
All right. Would you say that our current president and our current politicians that are in power are Freemasons?
Yes.
And do you think that being Freemasons has something to do with them being in that position?
I wouldn't say so. I think that those people decided to possibly even join the fraternity after they were in that position.
a person like George Washington, who was the first president of the United States, he was a Freemason before becoming, and actually a couple people who signed the Declaration of Independence were also Freemasons. So do you see how I feel that the Masons kind of pick out who they want to put in power? Would you say there's any truth to that, or would you say that you don't see that yourself?
I don't see it, but I definitely see what you're going with that. And, from the outside the naked eye, I probably would feel the same way.
All right. As a Freemason, do you worship God?
Yes.
And do you believe that most Freemasons are similar to yourself, also believing in God?
Well, we don't discuss politics or religion.
As a Freemason, since you became a Freemason, do you see life any different?
A little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. I'm pretty sure you watch music videos and music. Why would you say that artists use so much Freemasonic imagery in their music videos?
I mean, sometimes I feel like they just do it to do it so we can think that they are a member, but then there's some like Rick Ross, who is a Freemason, who also has a song called Freemasons, who are actually real and they're a part of this organization.
Okay. You see, the imagery that these artists use, I believe the Freemasons, right? Like, they own the record labels because most of the owners of these record labels are Freemason.
I'm pretty sure with your knowledge, you seem like a pretty smart guy. It's the reason why I agreed to do this interview with you. I'm sure you've seen, actually, you mentioned it to me before the interview about the MTV building, I think it was, that was a lodge.
Yeah.
So yeah, things like that, I can't blame you guys, and I wouldn't be able to elaborate on that, but I can see why people think that.
Okay. Do you personally know anything of the nursery rhyme, Roll Your Bow? It was written by a Freemason, and it's supposed to have a Freemasonic meaning to it. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't.
Well, maybe after this interview, you should look into it. It was written by a Freemason, and it was pointed out by a rapper, KRS-One, and he explained that he was basically an honorary member. He wasn't really a Freemason, but he was allowed to know some of their stuff, I guess. He explained that the Roll Your Bow nursery rhyme.
He was allowed to know?
Yeah, that's what he claims.
A member?
He said he's not a member, but he claims, it was an interview that he did where he states that he is not a member, but he's honorary, so he's able to know. I might be misquoting him, but he did say that he was allowed to this information from the Freemasons. And this is what he said, that Roll Your Bow was technically the key to life. That's basically how he explained that. So that's interesting. If you maybe after this interview you look into it and you can tell me at another day.
I'll definitely look up into that.
Yeah, very interesting. Would you like to say anything about being a Freemason? In your opinion,
I would say that personally, I feel that it was a very good decision that I've made with my life. I would say that.
Okay.
As far as being a part of something that is such a big, gotta understand, we're a huge fraternity,
Yeah.
Something so big, something that's so meaningful to me, something that I don't take for granted at all.
Okay.
I appreciate being a member. Been a member for about 15 years now,
Okay. As a Mason, you knew the risk that it would cost you if, you were identified doing this interview. What motivated you to do this? Was it because you wanted to bring truth to people, or because you wanted to...
Yeah, just the truth. 75% of what you see on YouTube and stuff is real. You understand what I'm saying? In the world of the theorists and all that, 75% of this stuff is real. The other 25, is fake. You would see things like that we eat people and stuff like that, and I'm like, hey, I've never eaten a person in my life,
Yeah, but what I think people mean that, like I've said before, in the level of Masonry that you are allowed, and this is what I find very suspicious about the Freemasons. In the level of Freemasonry that you're only allowed the information that is allowed to you. So,
yes.
For all you know, yes, in the degree that you're in, you guys could be saints and all worship Jesus and love God. But in the degree that, a few degrees ahead of you, they might be teaching something completely different.
Definitely, I understand that.
So what I'm saying is, on my channel, I like to point out that the Freemasons have a much bigger hand. People point to the Illuminati, but what I've learned on my research is that the Illuminati was a bloodline. And not only that, they also kind of like exist within Freemasonry, but as a type of teaching. All I'm trying to say is that the top Masons really do, it seems so that they run this world. And the lower Masons, to me, it looks like they're set up to make it look like nothing's going on. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel like it's kind of like an organized business structure in a way where the higher ups are the ones that are most profiting from being part of it, while the lower ones kind of have to just pay to be a part of it.
Well, I mean, we all start from the same place. You know, we all go through the same rituals. We all do the same rituals to get to where we're gonna. You understand that? So, let's just say, for instance, you were to join the fraternity. What you're gonna go through is something we've all been through. Now, if I decide to go further up, I'm gonna go through exactly what they went through. You understand?
Yes.
As far as rituals and everything, I'm going to go through that. I'm going through the same doors that they went through.
Would you say that being a Freemason kind of teaches you, how to be your own God?
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but it did teach me that I had to be a better man in order to be with God in my next life.
Then why would you say that when a Mason reaches a higher degree, why do they consider themselves a grand worshipful master? Why would they consider themselves worthy of worship? When in the Bible, and not only in the Bible, but in just a person that desires to be worshipped seems to be, a person that wants to be a God. Wouldn't you say?
That's the thing. They're not really being worshipped. Yes, they are the worshipful master, but there's no real worship being going on.
If they're given the name worshipful master and they have to be called that by other members, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's a form of worship. If you would call you on your Lord, you worship your Lord, and that's what that word means. So just by saying worshipful master to another man, it's almost as if you're worshiping that man. It's just, that's how it seems from a...
Yes, I understand 100%.
Can you explain how does a person even become a worshipful master? What do they have to do in Freemasonry to get to that degree? Is there like a certain thing that they have to do, or do they just eventually make it there?
No, that goes based on the lodge, who we decide to make our worshipful master.
Okay. The Freemasons, they associated themselves with the pyramids and the all-seeing eye, which is from Egyptian times. And I pointed out several times on my channel that the Egyptians used to worship fallen gods, which were fallen angels that were casted out with Lucifer, right? And I feel like the Egyptians used to worship these fallen gods. I think that's the same thing that the Freemasons do within their Freemasonry. Like, I believe after you get to the top, that's probably what you're exposed to. A form of paganism and Egyptian, God worship, where it was really just worshiping multiple gods.
Fallen angels?
Yeah, like fallen angels. Why would you say the Freemasons associate themselves with the pyramids?
That's a good question. I believe that when I see the pyramids and I see what they worship, alien spacecrafts and stuff like that, I start to tend to believe, hey, maybe this whole thing is about aliens, You
will say that the Freemasons believe in aliens is what trying to point to?
My theory, yes.
Okay. So you know that in the Bible, points out to aliens not really existing, them being fallen angels or demons. Would you believe that?
No.
You're basically implying that the Freemasons know of the existence of aliens.
I'm not saying that they know, but I'm saying that that's what I believe, yes.
Okay.
Because I've seen something about George Washington that involved that, which led me to that theory.
And you don't think there could be no possibility that the higher Freemasons know that these aren't aliens, they're just fallen angels that they've associated themselves with?
I mean, I don't know, They I don't know how they work that high up.
Are you familiar with Anton LaVey?
Definitely.
Well, in his work, he often sent a lot of praise to the Freemasons, saying that they were very helpful in his religion, which is he's a Satanist. He said that the Freemasons are, he was implying that they have a lot to do. A lot of his stuff that he teaches was Freemasonic. So would you say that there's any connections with you guys between Anton LaVey or?
I don't know, to be honest, but I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. Well, I really appreciate you doing this interview. Thank you for your bravery. I know that it could cost you doing this interview. I appreciate you taking the time out to speak to me. Thank you again for doing this interview.
All right, Drew. Thank you. Take care and have a good one, all right?
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Truth Is. If you would like to further support the channel, join me on Patreon. The link would be in the description. If you join before the 28th of this month, you could be entered to this month's monthly raffle, where you can win a shirt, a cash prize, and even pick a video topic. Also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button, as this helps other people find these videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. Please follow me on Instagram at TheTruthIs01 and on TikTok at TheTruthIs. I will gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.